everyone, and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. It's Shannon here, and today I'm going to be showing you a technique I'm calling shadowing with white gel pen accents. I'm using the Enveloper birthday stamp set and these dies. This is the Lacy Layers 5x7 dies. I'm using that largest die there to cut my panel. I will be making a 5x7 card or an A7 card today. Okay, so now that I cut my panel out of craft paper, I'm ready to kind of line up my stamps. I'm using my MISTI today because I am using some stamps that have some very solid areas, like the girl's hair, some of the flowers, and the parts of the cat as well, like the fur. Because these stamps have pretty solid images, it's hard to get a complete coverage with dye ink for areas that are so solid. So I am going to stamp this multiple times to make sure I get my image completely stamped, so there's no bare spots where the ink didn't quite cover. This is really important to use a MISTI for stamps like this that are really kind of solid, to make sure you get good coverage so you can stamp it multiple times. If you don't have a MISTI or some kind of tool that allows you to stamp your stamps multiple times, you can stamp these images with acrylic blocks. Just make sure you use an ink that's going to be more saturated, like a pigment ink or a chalk ink or the distressed oxide inks. Those all will work really well and allow you to most likely get a clean image just by stamping one. So now you can see right away that's that first time I stamped that image. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black, by the way, ink, and I'm stamping it again here, and I will stamp this a total of 3 times. And I am using that Memento Tuxedo Black dye ink because I will be doing some Copic coloring, or I should say alcohol marker coloring, once I'm done stamping this. If you decide that you need to use the pigment ink because you don't have a MISTI, you want to definitely skip doing any alcohol coloring on your images, because that pigment ink is not friendly with your alcohol markers. Okay, so there I've got the image stamped. You can see how cute that looks, even just the black images stamped on the craft paper. It looks cute already. That stamp set is just awesome. But of course I have to gild the lily here, and I'm taking now my alcohol marker and I'm starting to add my shadow. I'm going to be working in 2 shades, a dark and a medium, or really I should say like a medium and a light actually. And I'm going around all the images like I am doing right now, her shirt and the flowers and leaves. And I also did earlier, you saw me doing the inside of her face. I will be doing the outside of everything as well as the inside of her face, which I already did, and then the inside of the kitty's face and arms. But other than that, it's basically, I follow that rule outside of everything. I'm not trying to make this look like a realistic shadow here. All I'm doing is creating some contrast and some depth here, and this will help the images kind of pop off the page. But again, I'm not trying to make it look like a realistic shadow. That's not really my goal here. My goal is just to add some more interest to these images. And you can see I'm going around everything. And once I'm done with this darker shade, I will move on to my lighter shade. And these colors that I picked are pretty similar to the color of the craft paper, so it's pretty monochromatic here. Not doing anything, I'm not doing grays. I'm trying to stick to colors that are pretty much the same colors of the craft paper, so like a darker shade of the craft paper and a lighter shade. So now I'm moving on to my lighter marker, and I'm just going directly adjacent to where I went with the darker shade, slightly overlapping onto where I colored before, and this will soften it and create a gradation. And I know right now it looks kind of dark, but that ink will dry and it will look lighter later. And I'm just going to go around all the images. I'm in fact going to cut that out because it's the exact same thing. I just went over with my light shade exactly where I went before with my darker shade. And here you go, you can see the finished result. Got a nice gradation there, and those images really do kind of pop off the page. Okay, so now I'm going to start going in with my white gel pen accents. And again, if you don't have a MISTI and you want to stamp these images, just stamp them in a pigment ink and then skip the whole alcohol marker coloring, all the shadowing that I did, and just do the white gel pen. Just that white gel pen will add some great interest to your image without the shadowing. So what I'm doing with these gel pens, I'm coloring in all the negative space. So I am not going to color in her face though, or the cat's body. I'm just coloring in all the negative spaces that are left other than that. And here on the eye, that's just where this gel pen just is like knocks it out of the park. It just really helps those eyes to pop and really add some life to the images. Now I'm just going to continue this. I'm going to finish up this girl's shirt here, but it's basically the same. I do this white gel pen all over, all these negative spaces except for the face and the cat's belly. So you can see me, I'm doing the leaves here, even though they're teeny tiny. I still do leaves just because that little pop adds some great details to the image. Makes things kind of pop. And you can do this with other stamps. I like to do it with the shadowing with the white gel pen accents. I like to do that with other solid stamps. I like that black, that bold black image, and then with the shadowing and the white, just a couple white gel pen accents. I think it's really fun with your solid images, and sometimes your solid images can be kind of hard to figure out how to use. Our images that are very linear, everybody just goes, oh, I can color those, and they know what to do with them. You can color them, you can watercolor them. You know, there's it seems like a lot of versatility, but we get kind of stumped with these more solid images. So here's just another technique to have in your bag of tricks where you can kind of do the shadowing and white line is another way to approach your more solid stamps. Okay, so that's it. I did the whole thing, all the negative spacing. See, I did the cat's eyes and the present and everything. So of course, like I said before, I have a problem and I have to go take everything one step further, and I decided to go in and add a few more details to some of the flowers and leaves that I didn't color at all or add any accents to the white gel pen, or with the gel pen, I'm sorry. But like I was saying before, you can do, this is a really great technique to do with your solid images. It doesn't work so well for more linear images because it you end up getting too much. You have to pick and choose your spaces where you're going to use your white gel pen, and if you don't choose wisely, you might get too much white gel pen on there and just not have enough contrast. So I really like this technique for more solid stamps. And here I am just going to add more, and I am doing these flowers here, these bold flowers. I'm kind of putting in a smaller white flower inside of them, and I'll do this one, and I think I'll do one more, and then I'm just going to cut because I do this as well on the other 2 flowers, or I think 3 flowers on the around the kitty, and that's pretty much it. And I will show you at the end of the video a few more cards that I created, 2 others with the this same stamp set, this enveloper birthday stamp set, and then I did one more with the Bowtiful Stamp Set with the really solid bow that comes with that stamp set. So you'll see that in the end. So this is, again, just a really great technique to use with your more solid stamps. Okay, so now that the panel is all done, I'm going to grab my adhesive, put it on the back of the panel, and just add it to my A7 card base, my craft card base. Real simple, and that is done. So lots of fun depth there, really like that technique. So here's what I did on a different color cardstock, and I did stamp mask and did actually stamp that last flower for that one, and there's when I did kind of more of a teal cardstock. So really you can use different colors as well. So here's the one I was telling you about before. So I did another one with a different stamp set. This is the Bowtiful Stamp Set by Waffle as well, and so there you can see it's really, this is a great technique, really great for your solid stamp sets. For more product info, please visit waffleflower.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.